The 2025 Southern Summer Conference with USTA Louisiana, Wayne Elderton Specialty Course, Developing Tennis Superpowers.
So we can see that one, here we get it. So they got very one, got some challenges. Okay, so let's watch. I'm just gonna set some stuff up and let's see what happens. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, okay, so if we're going to rush on this angle, let's give it a little angle. So let's see if we can get it into this little triangle. Okay. And if it can bounce 2 times before the surface, that's a really short ball. Okay. So let's see if we can bounce 2 times before the surface. And the other thing is, what would happen if I made a rush shot too hard? Okay, so let's say that we'll go 2 windows to maximum to try to one window over the net. Okay, so here it is. And let's see.
You're not going down to 1?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. Your crossword is different. This is your crossword. I forgot your crossword. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So you had an idea of how successful they were, right? Close your ears. Okay, what would you say? How would you rate percentage-wise their success rate? Yeah. 40-ish%. Okay. Well, we'll be nice and we'll go 40. Yeah. Okay. No problem. All right. Here we go. Okay. And again. Okay. All right. Let's keep trying it. That's okay. You got all by yourself. Thank you. Oh, there's one twice. Okay. You got that. Here it is. Oh, it's too hard, right? How can I make it even softer? All right, there's one. Oh, still 2 bounces before the service line. It's got to be that soft. 1, 2. Look at that. Uh-oh. Okay, almost got the TV. It's all right. Okay, 1, 2. Nicely done. How can I do that? Yes. Okay. Why was that different from the other one? Let's try it again. That was actually a lot better. Look at that. 1, 2. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. So, are they better? Significantly better. Did I coach them? Yes. Okay. So. That was weird. I didn't really coach them explicitly. All right, so here's another big fancy word. It's called implicit learning. So what we ask to do when you're coaching the ball, and okay, now we've done the tactical stuff, and now we're going to zero in on the technique of the shot in the situation. Okay, so the technique of the shot situation, I'm going to first, before I get into the mechanics, I'm going to coach the ball. So the first thing is to set up a tactical pass through ball control measures. So, for example, okay, if I was measuring height, how do I do that? You saw it. What did I do? Windows over the net. Okay, so that's height. How do I measure direction right now? I put lines on the court. Okay, and made an area. How about distance? What did I do for that one? To kind of define the distance. What about the speed? Exactly. That's also because as Cindy found out, right? At first she was doing some high ones, and then it's like, okay, that's it. I can't. That doesn't work. So she's gonna figure it out. And what about the spin? It actually didn't even quite cover that, but again, there's a little bit of implicit. We can get to that point a little bit later. But so the first step of coaching the ball is set up the task with the ball controls. Now, here's the evil thing that I found out over my coaching career. A clear task is a way better coach than I'll ever be. Okay? A clear task is a way better coach than I'll ever be. So, Jonathan, can you just grab that ball and grab that ball and just toss it up to me? Thank you. All right, perfect. Your whole central nervous system, brain and muscle connections are all wired to achieve tasks. I just gave him a task. Do you know how many millions of signals had to go to every one of his muscles to contract in the perfect order in order to go there, bend over, pick it up, and toss it to me? He didn't throw it into the wall, right? He didn't run past it. When the task is clear, your whole body is geared to achieving the task. Now, the better athlete you are, the faster that's going to happen. The worse athlete, it just still takes time. So good athletes take time, poor athletes just take more time. That's all. Right? So it's geared for a task. So when I'm coaching technique, the first step is to clearly define the task. And miracle upon miracles, it coaches them. Because it's called implicit learning. You learn just because of the environment, and the other piece is called the constraint-led approach, which means I set the parameters to constrain the task, and it allows them to do the technique. So, did their technique change? Totally. Their footwork changed, their impact point changed, the speed of their racket changed, the path of their racket changed. They changed tons of technique. And if I hadn't went after each one of those technical things in order to change it, it wouldn't have worked that well at all. Because then it would have just been information overload. Like, oh, here's what the footwork you should have. Here's the body work you should have. Here's all the racket work you should have. Like, that just would have been overload. Okay? So again, the first step is to clearly define the task. And oftentimes, again, we don't. Now, targets, by the way, the research shows that when you put a target up, you increase accuracy by 300%. I don't even know how to give a lesson without targets. I honestly don't know how to do it. And it just makes things so clear as to what you're trying to do. But also, we need to make sure that all those ball controls can be measured. Right? So I clearly set up a task, I make sure it has measurements, and you set out a problem. And they're going to figure out how to solve it. Now, if they don't solve it, then you're going to come in with some more info, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. But oftentimes, like I said, a clear task is a much better coach than you will ever be. And especially like if I'm coaching performance players, it's ridiculously easy sometimes. Sometimes they're so good, it's like, yeah, if you just like hit a dipping power cross court, it's just over there, okay? Okay. Yeah. Right? Whereas a beginner player, like, I don't know how to do that. But a clear task is important. So anytime when you start to get technical, step number one in coaching the ball, set out a clear task. Make sure the task is clear. And their whole body will fight to get it done. Somehow, some way. But if they're unclear about stuff, like unclear about the height or unclear about the speed, then you have to make sure that they are clear and see what they can do. Okay, that's step number one. Step number two, as we go back out again, okay, and Marta was actually doing it really well. Step number two is to use what we call the P.A.S. principles. Now, number one, the P.A.S. principles, out of everything we do in Canadian coaching education, when all the coaches come back after all their courses, the number one thing they said changed their coaching life, they used the most, is this thing right here. It's called the P.A.S. principles. And it just simply is this. When I impact the ball, my racket has to pass through the impact. Okay? When it passes through the impact, there's three things that happen. There's the path of the racket. Is the racket level? Is it low to high? Is it high to low? There's the angle of the racket. Is it open? Is it closed? And I'll use the ball terminology of I can hit the outside of the ball, okay, which makes go out, I can hit the back of the ball, I can hit the inside of the ball. Now, whenever you do this, you have to make sure that you're clear with your players that you're coaching. So you don't just go to a player and go, you got to hit the inside of the ball, and they go, I don't know what that means, okay? But make sure you show it. So that's the angle, and then the speed is the racket. Accelerating, decelerating, maintaining speed. Okay, so that's the pass. Every shot in tennis is a recipe of the pass. It's physics. It has no choice. If the pass recipe is correct, the ball must do what is intended to do. It can't not. The only reason the ball doesn't go where it's supposed to go is because one or more of the pass principles are off. And again, like I said, it's physics. So, for example, other coaches, not you guys, would hear things like, oh, step in the direction you want to send it. Okay? Or follow through in the direction you want to send it. Okay? Because if I step in the, if I want to hit crossword, if I step in the direction I want to send it, and I follow through in the direction I want to send it, it obviously will go crossword, correct? Oh, shoot. That's no good. Oh, hit it earlier. Okay, so hit it earlier. Oh, shoot. That's weird. Okay, so the pass principles are the physics. This chunk is not in most countries' certification. So most countries have mechanics, and they try to get to ball control through mechanics, like I just said. Use your body to do this, follow through to do that. And mechanics are an indirect way to get to the physics. It's indirect. So it may work or it may not. But if I correct the pass principles, okay, again, like I said, it's the physics. It has to do what I want it to do. It's got no choice. So if I fix the pass, the ball will always do what it's supposed to do. If I try to go through mechanics to get to the ball control, because the pass controls the height, distance, direction, spin, and speed of the ball. If I try to go mechanics, then it's in trouble. How many times did my coach tell me I hit the net and they'd say, bend your knees, because geez man, if I bend my knees, there's no way I could hit the net. And I understand what they're trying to say. What they're trying to say is, look, you have to get the ball below the intended impact so you can go low to high through the impact, and that's going to make the height go over the net. Thanks, coach. You didn't say that. You just said bend your knees. And so then what happened is it does work or it doesn't work. And then it's going to cause frustration because I'm saying I'm doing exactly what the coach is telling me to do, but it doesn't do that. So they do one of two things. They either go, something wrong with me. Tennis is just too tough. I'm going to do brain surgery, something easier. Okay? It's just too hard. Or they go, that coach is full of it. That's the only choices. If you go through the mechanics to try to get to ball control, it'll always not be as effective. We have to make sure that, just go with the physics, and you'll find the mechanics start to do it. So the pass principles are a great recipe. So for example, okay, and let's see how brilliant you guys are. Here, the ball's over my head. I run, and I go like this. Oh, shoot. Fix the pass. I just hit it low in the net. What? And when I say pass, you go the path, the angle, and the speed. Those are the only things you mention. Don't mention anything else. Okay, so what should the path be? Not too high. Okay, so low to high. Absolutely. Okay, what should the angle be when I touch it? Open to the sky. Okay, what about the speed?
Control.
A controlled speed. Okay, so so I went over and like, oh my gosh, you guys are good. Holy crap! What great teachers you guys are. Okay, because if the pass is right, the ball has to do it. It's got no choice. And if it doesn't do it, it's either the P or the A or some combination is off. That's it. So when you learn this, the cool thing is when you coach the ball, you can get people to be much better, much more effective with whatever crap technique they have. It's okay. They'll be playing better. If Helen only plays once a week, that's all she does, just play once a week with my friends. And then some turkey coach goes and changes her grip for her ball because it's the right thing to do. Okay? She never is going to practice. That's not what happens. She's only going to play once a week. So you have just ruined her. She's going to try to use that new grip. It is not going to work. She will be hesitant using her old grip because you said it was not the right grip. So that's it. So you just don't do garbage like that when you're coaching the recreation players. Now, for the kids, long-term development, yeah, you change stuff. Because you're going to spend time, you are going to train with them, you're going to put the hours in. But changing the mechanics takes a lot of time. So one of the questions when we're doing, say for example, private lessons, is we say, make sure you ask them how often do they play in practice. Because that will allow you to know how much change will they be able to accept from you. Because if you're asking for something that takes a lot of hours to do, and they're never going to do it, it's not going to work. When they do studies, they go, why do you not like tennis lessons? I hate tennis lessons. Why? Number one, coach tries to make me in their own image. That's one of the reasons they don't like it. The coach made me worse. You paid what? And they made you worse? What are you worse? Now, we know, as coaches, sometimes you have to get a little worse and then you get better, but only if you're going to put in the time. Right? So the cool thing about the P.A.S principle is I can make them better and effective and they can beat their friend without changing their technique all over the place because I'm changing technique but only changing what happens with the ball control. And instead of again making all these changes and it messes people up and like I said, if people are getting worse and they're taking lessons, that's not going to work very well. But if they're better and they come back, and now you could say, well, you know what, this grip, this new one will allow you to do more things, but you know what, you have to put a lot of practice. If they go, yeah, I'm on the ball machine all the time, I'm committed, coach, I'm in, fine. But if they go, no, we're just going to play once a week, then it's okay. I've had, it makes coaches nuts, but I've had players where, once a week with their friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead and do it.
This ball you don't see in this country. Okay, so it's okay. It's all right. But what did I do? I changed the path. I made sure that when she did this, she could get in. When she did this, right, she put it right. Fine. She beat all her friends. It was fine. It's okay. It's good for her. If I had a no, probably not as well. Like, are you kidding me? She's going to be so unsuccessful by doing that. Now, would I let some kids? No. Okay, it's a long-term development thing. No, I'm going to change it. But you need to know how much change they're going to accept. And the cool thing about this, it doesn't take anything. It's easy to change the password for some. Okay, so it's the most powerful tool. Okay, I get coaches to come back and go, I use that every day. Every day I help people with that because whatever they need to want the ball to do, I can help you. With whatever crappy grip you have, with whatever rotten technique you have, I can get you to get the ball, do what you need to do at your level effectively enough that you're going to be more successful than you were and less, you took, because you took lessons. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Now, it's the P.A.S principle. It's still the same deal, but now if they have trouble with it, and she's actually not having any trouble, okay, so Marty's doing pretty well. Cindy's right close, okay, and now the ball is going up, okay, it's going up to the racket, which is okay, if you're trying to go a little bit of faster now. Let's see if you can just level out your pattern, okay, so a little softer and level. Yes. Excellent. 2 bounces before the third. Okay? So a little softer and level. Just, again, a little slower. Decelerated. Here we go. Oh, that's okay. You know what? That's the first one that actually was too short. You were hitting all the ones too far, so that was actually an excellent correction. Now you'll figure out in between. So here we go again. And what happened? Yeah, was it slow enough or too fast? Too fast. Okay, so slow it down. Sorry, Mark. Too good. Oh, good. Double. We're talking double. One more time. Yeah, nicely done. Okay, now if you level it out rather than chopping down, it'll go a little lower. So just level. Okay, look at that. 2, 3, 4. Oh, nicely done. Okay, and Martin just has it. I need a pressure shift here. Okay, yeah, so that's moving that just, again, level through a little bit faster. Just a touch. That's the one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So again, coach the ball. Step number 1, set up the task clearly. Step number 2, if the task doesn't coach them, use the PAS principle to make sure they can achieve the task. And no matter what task you figure out, this process will work. And they will be able to do what they need to do. Did they get better? Yes. Okay? All that is technical, by the way. But when you don't have the model, you just think, well, that's not technique. It's like, yes, it was. It was all technical. The angle of the racket, the path of the racket, the speed, that's all technical. Those are technical concepts. The path of my racket is not a tactical thing. Okay? And that's why, again, we're going to talk about shots rather than strokes. Strokes, is a stroke technical? But it's, again, usually we get the model in our head. It's not tactical, but it's not that great technical. So it's actually not a useful coaching tool. Stroke is not a useful coaching tool. Again, as I said, shot is, but a stroke is not. A stroke will just suck you into closed skill. If you're talking strokes, planning strokes, teaching people strokes, it'll just suck you into the closed skill mentality. All right, so that's how to coach the ball. Okay? And like I said, that's the number 1 coaching tool for my game. And as I said, most countries don't have this chunk. They have mechanics and they have tactics, and there's no bridge. And this is the bridge. This is the bridge between mechanics and tactics. Is ball control, coaching the ball. Right. And again, just experiment with it. It'll drive you nuts. All of a sudden, you'll set up this task and they'll do it and say, why do I even need it? Because you're so smart you can set up tasks. That's why you need to do it. Right? And I remember as a young coach, doing the whole model thing. You get some guy, the serve thing, right? Down together, up together, got your back, step, follow through. That whole bit, right? And so I would go through the whole bit every time I'm teaching serve. And one day I was tired. It was the end of the day. I was just lazy. And so I said to the guy, look, you know what? Just toss the ball up and throw your racket at it. So he goes, boom, and he hits one in. And I'm like, do that again, right? And he tosses it up, boom. You play baseball, right? Yeah. Yeah, I played it up. Okay. And I was incensed. It's like, how dare you learn something when I didn't teach it all to you? Like, that's ridiculous, right? But just understand that if we can keep things simple, if we do the task, you just be amazed how much gets done. Like, you can do so many technical changes without overloading their concepts. And especially if we have a camp and there's lots of coaches, I really don't like all the coaches wandering around. I like it when they own a court. Okay, if you own that court, you're going to give feedback to that court. Because what happens is, there's a kid hitting, and some coach comes along and goes, oh, you should turn your hips more. And then they're hitting some more, and some other coach comes and goes, okay, try to do a more open stance. Oh, okay. Then some other coach comes and is like, wrap your finish more, wrap your finish. And at the end of a session, kids has 50 things in their head, and nothing's going to stick, and nothing's going to transform them. And again, that's your job as a coach, is to transform the way people play. A skill is not learned unless it's able to be retained over time and applied to match play. Otherwise, they have to learn the skill. And my favorite quote of all time, I'm surprised I didn't put it up here, but it's in every one of my presentations, is a quote that says,
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember anything I was taught.
Oh, you want to?
I only remember what I learned. Think about all the things you were talking about.
It's study.
But what did you learn? Only the stuff that you felt wrong. Only the stuff that you accepted. Okay, so my job as a coach is to transform the way you play. So I'm going to take responsibility to say if I don't transform you, I'm failing as a coach. So if I'm going around giving all sorts of random, and they're getting random tips, they're not transforming. They're being exposed to stuff. The coach is giving it out, but they're not responsible for landing. If I've had any success as a coach, it's because I got better at landing stuff. Okay? A coach that only has 10% of coaching knowledge in the world, but lands all of it, is better than a coach that has 100% of all coaching knowledge, but only lands 5%. Right? I mean, it's your job to land it. If you don't transform the way they play, you're failing as a coach. It's not just about you giving it up. It's about you transforming it. And again, clear pass, biggest transformer thing ever. And like I said, it'll drive me nuts. All of a sudden, we'll start to have clear pass, and they'll just do it, and it's like, really? And if you don't do it, now you know the consequences. And so you can deal with it. And all of that is technical. Okay, last thing. Okay, so if I'm measuring things, height, get over the net, direction, markers on the court, distance, markers on the court, zone, speed, first landing point and the second landing point. What do I mean by tasks for that? So here's an example. If you constrain the task, you will get correct technique. Because again, the physics has to be kind of right in order for them to do that. So here's the trap. Coaches will follow you. So you've just taught the kid this whole neat serve motion. Okay? And then you get caught in a trap and you have this little game and you go, okay kids, every time you get the ball in the court, your team gets a point. Right? So you get the compliant child who's like, okay, I'm going to do, okay, oh no. It's like, yeah. And then you get the smart kid who goes, we win. And you're going, ah. But if you constrain the task properly, you would have constrained the technique as well. Because if you had said, okay, look, not only does it have to go in, okay, but it has to bounce, not in the net, it has to bounce, okay, outside the court. Could be outside the back, could be outside the baseline, but it has to bounce outside the court. Now it's going to be tough for that kid who just does the little blippy ball. That's not going to work. Okay, because I've made the task clear, but I create the task to get the technique that I'm looking for. Whether it's a short angle top spin cross court, whether it's a drop shot, whether it's an overhead smash to the back end, like whatever, try to constrain the task and you can get it, but don't fall into the trap of not being clear what the task is. So, and then speed, like that is your radar gun. So I don't have a radar gun, but if I want someone to do faster, say for example, okay, look, I'm looking at this 12-year-old and I want them to have a nice drive down the line, attack ball. Well, look, you're going to have to hit the court, it's got to hit the wall before the next pass. And then, nope, too slow, nope, that's it. And then, oh yes, did you see that? How fast was that rocket? And you make a big deal because they achieved the task. But that's when you're measuring power, it's all by the second bounce. If you're doing stuff with spin, it's the first landing point versus the second landing point. So basically, if I hit it flat, say it's serve, if I hit it flat, the landing points will line up. If I hit with spin, say a slice, the first landing point, the second landing point will be over to the side. So we just kind of see what the gap is, what the distance is between. So you can do some different things. You got the running out of time. Okay. Another quiz? Nah. We won't do that one. We won't do that quiz. Okay. So, yeah, we won't do that. Okay, so when you're observing pass, don't get distracted by all the other mechanics. So the tool is called the invisible person. Okay, so the invisible person is simply this. So when they were hitting shots, I was imagining that their whole body was invisible, and all I was looking for is this racket floating in space, Okay, and what is it doing? What's its path and its angle? Don't get caught up in the other stuff. Because you'll get caught up in like maybe their footwork was bad or their balance was off, which you will have to deal with, yes. But the idea is that I'm just going to fix their path. You just look at it through the invisible person. Just get rid of their body and just go, what's the ball went over there? What's the racket doing? Oh, I see. Yeah. She's way too open. Oh, I see. It wasn't going fast enough. Oh, I see. I can do that. Okay, so it's called the invisible person, and that's how you observe the past. Don't get caught up with the other things. So I'll tell you the quiz if you ever happen, if it ever happens to you again. So all I do is I get to feed balls, and so I'm telling you the answers already. I get to feed balls, and I go like this, and the tactic is I want a deep cross slice. Okay, so I go like this. And I will get a group, and you're a big group, or if I have smaller groups, it's like, tell me what 2 things I need to do to improve it. Make sure you're balanced. Think it goes there? No. Okay, and I will get all sorts of advice. None of it will help me to make the ball go there. Until someone does the invisible person, and then goes, just level out your racket faster. And then lo and behold, there it's there. But they're caught up in all the other stuff that they see, and they're caught up in the mechanics. And so just don't get distracted by those pieces, and you'll be able to judge and see the past better than you, the invisible person. So if I ever come back and do that, then you'll all pass. Right? Okay. Technical adaptability is the last superpower. Well, here's a guy. I think he knows something about tennis. Right? Every shot is different. So then why are we teaching the forehand? Feeding the same ball over again. Because no ball arrives the same as another. No shot is identical. So again, dealing with, he's talking about tennis is an open skill. You have to receive the ball. It's different. Every shot is a problem that you're going to have to solve technically. It's not being repeatable, closed skill. Here's the forehand, which again, when you watch pros play, I love it online when you're looking at it and again, this technique is so bad. You wish your players were that bad, moron. I mean, come on. Give me a break. This technique is so bad. It's like, you know how many people he beats with better technique than him? But his technique is totally functional. He absolutely gets it done, gets it where it needs to. Is it as pretty as other people? No. Is there problems with it? Not really. Not at all. I wish my players were that bad. I wish all my players were that bad. Okay, I'm going to show you a game. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. Okay, so then it's like, okay, so how do you coach tennis as an open skill? And here's how we're going to go. Let's get our people out again. So William, you're out, Martin's out, Cindy's out. Let's get them all out again. Okay. And let's see, let's stand up and come over here so we can see it a little better. Okay, so this works with kids especially. Okay. Coolest game you've ever seen in my life. Does anyone know Mike Barrow? Okay, so Mike Barrow is one of the world experts on red, orange, and green. That's spectacular stuff. So he showed a drill, and I thought that was cool. And then I took that drill and expanded it into a whole thing. So when people ask me, okay, what do you mean? How do you coach tennis as a wicked skill? Okay, and this is the example. So here's your game that we're going to play. And you're what I do with my hold on. Okay. So we're just going to cut it. We're going to go wet for it. Okay. And just a little more than that. A little bit. Big zone. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I need one more person for the racket. And okay. All right. Okay? We parlay this drill into a whole season of planning. Okay? So they come a number of times a week for 12 weeks for the whole season. And this drill is the basis of the whole thing. And so we have all our planning geared around this, especially we do it for our advanced orange players. And you'll see that it's also scalable. So here's the game. Okay? And all, I'm going to take the coach here. Okay. Just easier if I use these suckers. I'm going to do this just for us to see. Okay. It goes like this. This is zone 1, and that's why there's 1 cone there. This is zone 2, that's why there's 2 cones there. This is zone 3. Okay? And what we'll do is, we won't use a non-dominant hand because we usually do this as a coaching exercise when you guys get the coach. But just to see it, we'll use a dominant hand. Okay? And it goes like this. I'm going to create a code. So if my code is 1, 2, 3, I hit it in section 1, and you hit it in section 1. Okay? And then I hit it in section 2, and you hit it in section 2. And then I hit it in section 3, and then you hit it in section 3. And he broke the code. Okay? So that's the code. Right now it's 1, 2, 3. And let's see which team breaks the code first. Yeah, you do the dominant hand. Okay, here we go. And be picky. Keep going. There's a 1. Double down by out. And 2. Okay. And 3. And let's see a 3. That was a 2. Start again. Yeah, start from scratch. Okay, here it is. That's a start again. Okay. 1. And nope, that's a 2. Start again. You gotta stop it. You don't have to go, you gotta stop. That repeats. Okay. And it's a point that becomes a break. If you break the code, you gotta tell me, you guys. You got 1 point? Okay, now it's up. Alright, now. Cheating is another thing. So what happens here is with Code Breaker, now I start to create all sorts of different codes. Now we could do, for example, we could do things like, okay, you're gonna, I mean, we have the code here, but I could say you have different codes than me. So I'm gonna hit 1, you're gonna hit 3. Okay, so we're just gonna do 1 and 3. Okay, and 1 and 3. And what am I going to learn? Backwards. Okay, I could do 1, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1. Okay, so 1, 3. I don't say it. I don't say that. Okay, and then up. And what am I learning there? Crossing down the line. You can use this for all of them. Now it's 100% scalable. Could I play with 2 kids? Okay. Floor tennis with Code Breaker? Absolutely. But I'm learning tennis. And also, technically, once I do it, make sure that it just puts out and the whole shot up and all that stuff. So I can help it do all those things. Could I play this game with throw tennis? Absolutely I could. So this game is still, could I go with a performance group of players, yellow ball, full court? Could I do that? Yes. So now this particular game is about the only, it's not the approach to the situation, not sure, it's not, there's only goal back. So this is one game for only both back situations to develop. All right? So now let's go, I don't know, figure out a code. 2, 3, 1, here we go. 2, 3, 1, let's make it. Okay, if you missed it, start again. Start again. Oh, there's a force on the side. Okay. All right. Now, hold on. I don't know. He gave it a go. Okay, now hold on. Your code doesn't even count unless you can get back to your home base. Alright? So again, whenever you're doing stuff, do the whole shot cycle. Whenever you make sure the whole shot cycle is in there. So it's not stand around. Okay? Now, for example, again, coaches fall into traps about this. So, you know, there's a drill, for example, where William is going to do you put the far baseline, far baseline here. Go to the far end, okay? You've seen drills like, okay, hit forehead. So hit forehead. Yeah. Good. Another forehead. Yeah, continue it. Right? And now get another forehead. Good. And go back to the line. I call those merry-go-round drills. Okay, that's a merry-go-round drill. Now, here's the difficulty. Because you haven't had the shot cycle, you haven't included it. So your kid goes out of place. He runs over the side, he stands there. And he's kind of frozen. And you go, what's your problem? You talk about recovery all the time. Yes, coach, you're right. You talk about it all the time. But you've trained my body to hit the ball and run off the court. So, of course, when I hit the ball, my brain goes, I should recover, but my body's been trained to run off the court because my shot cycle is incomplete. So we have to make sure every drill you do, keep the shot cycle intact. And then it's going to work better. And that's why I love like serve, return, +1. You ever heard that one? So serve, return. Why? Because recovery on the serve is like the least trained recovery on the planet. Because people just serve and then they kind of stand there. But serve, return, +1, I serve, and then I got to go, oh, and then I get the +1. So now I connect it together instead of just serving. Serve, 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 serve. No +1. Okay, so we did that note. So you guys are going to be the coaches, you're the coaches. If they hit it, that's okay. If they miss, call them on it. And if they don't get back before their next shot, that's also such a count. Okay, so let's do 2, 2, 3, 3, 1. Okay, so 2, and 2, and 3. Start again. Okay. Okay, give me that ball anyway. Okay, and you think you get back in time? Okay. Alright, so for example, hold on. A recovery, honestly, it takes me about a year to properly train kids' recovery at advanced sport. Like about a year. It takes a long time for them to recover. Recovery has a location, and of course on a full court, these angles and all that stuff. A recovery has a position. If you look athletic, it would be a head shorter than normal. Okay? And a recovery has a time. So now, call them on it. It's your job, you're the coach. Okay? If they don't get back before that person hits it, then nope, tell them start again. Okay? Alright, and you're the coach of this week. If they hit it and they don't get back, then call them on it. Don't start again. Okay, go. You got to recover before the ball bounces. Before they hit it, I should say, on the other side. Yeah. What was the code again? 2, 2, 3, 1. 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. Okay, here we go. 2. And recover before the bounce. Before the bounce. Yeah, there it is. Start again. Okay. Don't rip off the recovery practice. Even if you miss, recover anyway. Even if you miss, recover anyway. Come on, before the bounce. Okay. I said before they hit it, and now you guys are back. You got to, I call it beat the bounce. Recover before the bounce. Yeah. Before the bounce. Start again. Okay. All right, hold on. Stop. Good. Okay, so again, you can see the idea of scalable, right? And here you got accomplished adults, and it's challenging. It's still challenging. So work that. But make sure recovery's in there. Okay, the next one is let's flip these. Okay. And now we're switching from direction code breaker to distance code breaker. Yes. Okay. All right, and now flip the codes, because it goes like this. Okay, so this is section 1. Section 2. And this is section 3. Okay. All right. Okay, and the code is 3, 2, 1. 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, go. 3. Okay, 3. Nope, start again. 2. When you stop at top, I call it the annoying drill. It's just really annoying to stop it. Okay, here we go. Yep. Okay. Short. There it is going. You break your toes. Accelerate. Okay. Recovery. Yes, going back to a bit of a pain, but it's okay for now. So this is distance code breaker. Okay, now again, it's gamified. You know, it's a fun game, but you're learning not just how to send differences of direction, but how to receive distances of direction. You're learning not just how to send different distances. Okay, you're learning how to receive different distances. The idea is this is coaching tennis as an open skill. And again, technically, if it's not going there, I just come in with pass principle. Oh, he keeps hitting the net. All right, that's fine. Now let's open the racket and all right. Now, could I also stop and go? We're really having a hard time on the 3, the deep one. Okay, so let's only do 3 for the next 10 minutes. Okay, I got to open my racket and look, I can walk along the wall. I can go up the escalator, or I can go up the elevator. But let's go just up to the escalator. Okay? And after 3. And a little faster, one more time. Okay? Oops, sorry. Here you go. And a little faster for your 3. Beautiful, after 3. Okay, so could I stop and do any one of these things for a little? Yes, you can. Again, it's completely scalable. Okay, last one is height code breaker. Okay? And height code breaker, I'm going to say, here's 1. Air zones are beautiful things. Here's 2, and then 3. Okay? So it looks like this. If the code was 1, 2, 3, it would be 1 low, 1, and okay? So here's 1. Here's 1. And here's 2. And 2. And here is 3. And watch that ball behind your feet, please. And yeah, hold on a second. Now I'm going to introduce time. So your 1, just take account of 1 to get there. Okay, so let's just do a 1. You just stop it and you get it. And this is the other thing you can do. training. You just call the discontinuous route until when it stops and build it up. Okay? So here's a 1, and that's it. Okay? You do a 1. 1, perfect. And now a 2, 1. 1,000, 2,000. Okay, that's 2. Again, 1,000, 2,000. Okay, and this is a 3. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Here you go again. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Polish march, if you remember the tactical mission, okay, and what this is teaching us. What am I learning with that? Controlling. Yeah, so space is the other one, but this is big on time. Now I'm teaching the child to control time. And say, for example, we start to get to the point where if you're over here, you want to get a 1 faster than and 1 faster. No, what would you maybe want to do? 3, because guess what? You need to get out here before the ball bounces. Okay, because here's the little deal for when it comes to recovery. If your hitting speed, and this again even for performance kids, it's really important. If your hitting speed exceeds your recovery speed, you're out of position in the route. If your hitting speed exceeds your recovery speed, you're out of position in the route. And so when I watch most performance kids play, they don't know how to route because they can't control time. And if it's a neutral ball, and now all of a sudden I give up a less quality shot, I'm not neutral anymore, they're going to be on offense. Okay? So we have to make sure that now they start to learn time. Okay? So this is coaching tennis as an old skill. And then we just start to shape all the techniques. And as I said, we use this like for my advanced orange players. We actually went the whole year with just these games, but then focusing on the details of each one. Okay, a distance code breaker, code breaker height, okay, and code breaker direction. So using the ball control, and that's how. And again, imagine the little kids that they could control time or control space. They can hit it short. They know how to get deep balls. They know how to go for short balls. Like, oh my gosh, this is actually what a player. How much better than I've learned the proper stroke, and my coach has fed me 1,000 times, but I have no clue how to do any of this stuff.
You'll pay for it.
Get the idea? And keep going. Let us get all the equipment up. Thank you.
If they can bring me their name from if they're over here today and bring me their name, come back and would you mind asking me? Yep. So bad.
All right, so first announcement, if you're here only for today, and why you wouldn't want to come tomorrow and hear Craig speak, I have no idea. And I'm not going to get into it. So if you're here only for today, if you give Yvonne your name tag, you get a prize.
From people that aren't coming back tomorrow.
That aren't coming back tomorrow, which is probably reinforcing the wrong thing, but we're okay with that. We're okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You might not. All right. So the very last thing we're going to do is you're going to get into three.
Yeah, take some for yourself.
Free, and you're just going to say what impacted you today out of all the stuff that I covered. what was the biggest thing that impacted you? It could have been a little thing. Oh, just recovery on time. I just never had time as part of my training. It could be a bigger thing. I never heard of that. Didn't even know it existed. So, but it's your impact. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's yours. So what impacted you the most? Everything that you learned today. Get into verse 3, go.
Yeah. Move on.
They would have said that.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, he goes, she goes so fast, he stops.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't like
Or Marty. And I go to, and I go.
So I've always done this all people. I think that
I can almost walk in just to stay here. I guess I do, but I've
Focus and and again, it's a misnomer. These aren't superpowers. These are actually when you keep like that. That's actually why it's quite like that. If you understand that it's an open skill, and that means all your methodology must be different. Okay, and then perception, decision making, and technical adaptation. If you have any questions, by all means, email me, wayne.elderton@ngrc.ca. I'm happy to answer anything that you want. I do have a website, acecoach.com. It is 100% dedicated to this methodology, and there's over 50 articles, free articles on the website that I've written, mostly because I'm a financial idiot. But that's okay. Good for you. So please look it out. Honestly, what pisses me off is like there is no other website in the world that talks about open skill stuff. Like it's all you get is the model stuff, like all over the place. There's some decent tactical things coming out. Right, Fuzzy Yellow Balls have some stuff that's actually pretty cool tactically. That's not bad stuff. But for the most part, it's just all technical, and it's not coaching tennis as an open skill. So, yeah, you had a question?
Is your slide deck available?
Yeah, I can make it available to them, to you guys. Yeah, I can send it out. Yeah, so hopefully I achieve my goal, and you say you've ruined me. I cannot coach tennis the way that I used to anymore. That would be warming my little Canadian heart. If that was it. Again, I'm happy to answer any question. Thank you for bringing me here, and have a good evening. As they say in tennis, it's been a slice.
So guys, tomorrow, right here, we start at 8:45. And if you haven't checked in or anything, come a little bit early to check in. We'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you.